Hello, Ironbound Jim. Welcome to another episode of Taiji and Qigong. We've been working on a beginner young style 8 form and 8 pieces of brocade. 8's a lucky number in China. You may remember the Beijing Olympics started on August the 8th. In 2008 at 8:08. So, and that was the reason for that. Start off by getting your posture, your balance, and your breathing. Have an invisible line around the outsides of your feet, forming a rectangle, and everything inside that rectangle is going to be your foundation. Feet are parallel, about shoulder width apart. And you get yourself as firmly connected to the ground as you can. You can use those bubbling wells at the center of your forefoot to really kind of seal things with a rooting kind of connection or an energetic kind of connection. And you start to pay attention to how it feels on the soles of your feet and how you're balanced. If there's more weight left or right, front or back, or to the corners, and you settle right down in the middle. So it feels equally weighted across each foot. Make sure your knees are lined up with your toes. And some of the movements we do, you're in something called the bow and arrow stance. And with that, your knees are still lined up with your toes, but your knees are always behind your toes. So you never extend your knee beyond your toes. Then you connect yourself upwards. You have another acupressure point, the Ba Wei. It's kind of the crown of your head, the crown chakra in yoga. Just visualize an energetic connect pulling you up. Stretching you upwards, making you taller. Stacking your vertebrae on top of each other. Starting to make changes to your body. Bone drops, hips move back a little bit, tops of the hips are parallel to the floor. Flattens out your stomach, flattens out your lower back. That doesn't feel comfortable, just relax into what feels best for you. Tops of your shoulders are parallel to the floor and relax down the center line. As that line pulls you upwards, it lifts the back of your head, tucks your chin in a little bit, imaginary line across your eyes and ears is parallel to the floor. And get your head nice and balanced on your shoulders so it's not tilted left or right, front or back, or to the corners either. If you were to drop a line from that Ba Wei, go right straight down through your body, through the perineum, and hit the foundation right in the middle of it, but it would also be perpendicular to the floor. So that's your central axis, and a lot of the movements in Tai Chi and Qigong revolve around that center axis as you stay perpendicular to the floor. And once you're in alignment with gravity, you focus on your breathing. It's abdominal breathing, so you pull the diaphragm down as you inhale and feel an expansion about hip level all the way around. And as you exhale, you pull the pelvic floor up to move as much air out as you can. So on the next inhale, more air can come in. But again, the 70% rule applies to everything, including breathing. Don't try to inhale as deeply as you can. You can hyperventilate yourself doing that. Keep that at a comfortable level for yourself. And as for the pace, too, I've had some folks in class over the years who had asthma, so when we do the slower breathing, again, keep yourself comfortable with that. So there are times when they really tried to slow their breathing down, they ended up having some asthma issues. So again, you adapt this to yourself. Don't think about a right way or a wrong way, a right way or a wrong way. You think about a skillful way, and skillful is what works best for you, staying in the principles of posture, balance, movement, keeping softness in your joints, and as best you can, breathing to your diaphragm. On the inhale, as best you can, you inhale through your nose, and you touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth. And on the exhale, you can exhale through your nose or you can exhale through your mouth. And if you exhale through your mouth, you can sigh. And with that sound, you let whatever tension is inside, whatever tightness is inside, just flow out, and dissipate, and it just leaves. Breathe at your own pace. If you can, you make the exhale last just a little bit longer than the inhale. And just focus on your breath. If you feel any tightness, any tension around your forehead, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your jaw, around your mouth, just breathe into it. Let it soften. If you feel any tightness in your neck, down your shoulders, into your arms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers, just breathe into it and let it soften. And your chest, your stomach, your back, any tightness anywhere, just breathe into it and let it soften. Down your legs, and your ankles, your feet, your toes. If there's any tightness anywhere, just breathe into it and let it soften. And for 8 pieces, start with holding up the heavens like a pillar. So you interlace your fingers, press upwards as best you can. You come up on your toes and down. You arc first to one side and then the other, and back. Hands come down, backs of your fingers touch the top of your head. You reach up again as you rotate your hands so your palms are facing the top of your head, and then it's just a massage down the outside. It's an inhale, and an exhale, and an inhale, and an exhale, and an inhale, and an exhale, inhale, and exhale. Just keep going. Leo's a little restless this afternoon. Today is the day of robocalls. Maybe they're constant phone ringing. We disconnected the phone before we started this. And the next one is drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. So it's like you're holding a ball. Remember, your hips go back when you squat down, so you keep it easy on your lower back. So it's an exhale and an inhale. Back to the center. Feet come back a little closer together again. And then third piece, remember it's a 3-parter. It's the owl looking behind. You can just turn your head if that feels most comfortable for you. If you do the full body turn, you keep your knees nice and soft. You keep your eyes open so you can look all the way behind. Back to the front as you inhale and exhale. As you look back, And the second part of it is the hands in front of you about waist high. It's the same position we do right there. It's when we do 5 elements in the earth position. So it's just that turn. And then the third part, hands are over the kidneys, palms right over the kidneys, and fingers near your spine, thumbs over your hips. And other than that, it's the same thing. And then it's pushing heaven and earth, or touching heaven and earth. Holding the ball, lower hand rotates up, presses up, upper hand presses down. A little bit of a turn at the waist, so you get a fair amount of stretch through the ribs. You're stretching the muscles in your back, and according to Chinese medicine, massaging when the left hand goes up the spleen meridian, when the right hand goes up the liver meridian. It's an exhale out and an inhale down. And then the fifth is the bear shaking his tail. So your feet are a little bit further apart. Hips go back so you can keep your head over your foundation. Hands go just above the knees. Just relax your shoulders, and first you push up to one corner, then the other. It's an inhale down, exhale up. In the second version of the bear, and I just do them both, it's first making a circle one way, and then the other way. And that gets your lower back loosened up so you can do the next one, which doesn't have a fancy name, at least not that I know of. It's just touching your toes. It starts off, again, sort of holding the heavens up, so you get a nice stretch. Your hips go back, you keep your head over your foundation, bend your knees a little bit. Remember, you never lock your knees, you never lock your elbows. Softness overcomes hardness, flexibility overcomes rigidity. So you never fully compress them either. And then hands back over your kidneys. Again, there's two ways to do this that I know of, and probably more. But the second way is your hands are massaging down the backs of your legs down towards your heels. And then inhale back up. Exhale. And inhale. The next is the punching with a stern gaze and visualizing stagnant energy going out from your eyes and away from you. So get your stance nice and solid. You look to one side. As you punch, you rotate the arm around. Open your hand, curl your fingers, and rotate your hand and arm and pull back in. And it's an exhale and an inhale. Whenever we do this in a live class, we try to make sure everybody punches in the same direction, because if you look at each other, you end up laughing, which is a good thing, really. You're supposed to be able to smile when you do this stuff and have fun with it. And then the last piece is the three-parter. Remember, there's multiple ways of doing this one. Some folks, they just kind of shake like this for 5 or 10 minutes sometimes. And you have to admit you do tingle a lot when you do it that way. One other way is just coming up and coming down like that, but you don't really get the effect when you do it that way. But if you have issues with ankles, knees, and hips, you do it that way. And actually this way might be easier. It's just called shaking your chi. So you come up and drop. It's another three-parter. So hands in the front. And then hands over the kidneys. And then balance everything out. Start to shift your weight from one side to the other. So before we do the swing, let's just do balance work. As you do this, you keep your body perpendicular to the floor, so the movements at the hips and ankles, keeping the knees soft. So if there were a pendulum, it'd go from the center of one foot back to the middle to the center of the other foot. And you can visualize warm, salty water just flowing from one side to the other, cleansing all the cells. And that part's just called pouring. And then you move into the swing. Remember, you can do it with your eyes closed, just letting your head turn with your shoulders, visualizing yourself in a place where you feel very safe, calm, secure, serene. Maybe with someone or something in your life that brings you great comfort. You can do this for as long as you want. If having your eyes closed makes you a little dizzy, you just keep your eyes open and look straight ahead at something that's not moving, but you can still do the visualization. And then you can drum or tap, starting with just inside the shoulder, that lung meridian point, and then base of the rib cage. And then just inside the hip inguinal crease, or qua. And just back to swing. Just come back to the center, let your arms relax, hold a really big ball. Upper hand keeps your head pretty much still, lower hand moves your hips out a bit. down, back to pour. And when all your weight gets into one foot, just relax down into it. Feel the heel of the other foot naturally come up. And just let your foot float up. If you need to keep your forefoot on the floor, that's okay. Or you need to touch a wall or a chair. Whatever works for you. Other side. And your knee floats up. And the other side. And your heel floats up. Other side. And then just drop your hand on your thigh. Other side. Come back to the center. Balance everything out. And we got as far as grasp the bird's tail. I'll do it first facing you so you can see the hands. And don't worry about left and right. It'll turn around and you can mirror me then. So shift your weight. Step out. Heel touches, arms rotate, palms face back. Arms come up. But shoulder high, fingertips are trailing. And you turn on that center axis so you can repulse the monkey with just the arms, not the footwork. Press. Press. And it's a brush knee push. If you need to rebalance, you just use a T-step. Push. To the other side. Push. Part the wild horse's mane, so it's a grab, step, strike. Other side. And into wave hands like clouds. Remember, you can do this just standing in place. You don't even have to move. I just like to move around a little bit. And so that when I come back in, I can make this foot go at a 45-degree angle and do golden rooster stance on one leg, then the other leg. And a kick with the heel, and whichever leg you're kicking with, that's the arm that's going to be on the outside. So it's a knee kick, heel kick, down, kick with the other side. And that's how far we got last time, so I'll turn around. And if you go to williamsburgtaiji.com or findingdao.com, and Taiji is Taiji, and you find the link for the YouTube channel, it just dawned on me, I've got a playlist on there that's just this form, because I'd set this up on a Google Classroom for actually William and Mary, and I'd use the videos to also do it as a playlist, so if someone were taking in a class, they'd be able to practice in between. Okay. Nice and balanced, nice and centered. Shift your weight right, left heel comes up, step out about the width of your shoulders. When the heel touches, palms rotate back, arms float up with the fingertips trailing, then down, a little bit of a bend in your knees, again fingertips trailing, and then left arm goes forward, palm down, right hand palm up. Behind you at about 4 o'clock, you look back to the front, folds over, hand in the front goes palm up as you twist. You pull with the left, push with the right, then you do the same thing on the other side. Shift your weight left so you can adjust your right foot, get your hands ready so you can toss a pie with your right hand. Left hand comes in for a T-step, then it takes the left foot around, plants it down. You shift your weight, settle your wrist, brush knee, push. Shift your weight back so you can rotate on that left heel as far as is comfortable for you so you can come around and brush knee to the other side. Shift your weight back. We're going to do another 180. Hold the ball right hand on top. Right hand grabs, left foot trips, left hand comes up. Part to wild horse's mane, then we shift back, do the same thing on the other side. Left foot adjusts so the toes are straight ahead. Right hand's going to drop down. Left hand's going to come up and across. Right hand comes across, brings in that right foot for wave hands like clouds. We'll do 1, 2, and then we'll just go back. 1, 2, and the left foot comes in. Just make it 45 degrees so you can do golden rooster, stands on left leg. Golden rooster stands on right leg. Right arm goes underneath. Kick with the right heel. And then kick the left heel. And this time left foot's going to come down so your feet are more or less parallel. Body's facing towards that corner. And your hands are going to come around. And we'll just do the hands first. There's actually a form that came out in the last few years in China that focuses just on the 8 energies, and the 4 main ones are the ward off, roll back, press, push. So in the short forms, this is ward off. On the side, on the other side. If you've taken 40 form or longer, ward off is like this, but in the short forms, hands down here with the wrist bent to activate that acupressure point. Looks a lot like part the wild horse's mane, but if you look from the side, part the wild horse's mane, ward off. The elbows dropped a little bit. You're in a bow stance. So an experiment you can try if you want, but again, be gentle, and it's a steady push. It's not a push like that, it's push like that. Just stand like this and have someone put their hands here and push straight ahead and just kind of ease into it. And don't resist. You just absorb the energy, and honestly, you feel it come through here and it goes into your back foot. If somebody's big enough, they're going to, push you up like that. But you really can ward off and absorb a lot of energy just standing like this and not have to really do anything except absorb it. And that's what this movement, this part of this movement is about. So that's ward off. It goes into the next one with just very subtle move. It's just a little turn to the side and dropping your elbow. So if somebody's pushing in here really hard and you finally just get tired of absorbing the energy, turn like that and their own energy takes them off to the side and you don't have to do anything. And the elbow's down. It's not down like this, but it's off to the side and dropped a little bit. If it's up here like this, it's not good for your shoulder, but it's also much harder to absorb. It's easier to push you around, so you have it relaxed, so your shoulder's relaxed. This is all about relaxation, just taking that energy and using the other's energy on them instead of on you. So there's ward off. Drop your elbow, turn a little bit. You reach up as you do. Hand in front goes palm down. Other hand comes up, palm up. So like that. Roll back is just what it says. You grab, and it's a pulling, so if somebody's coming in, you just grasp, and again, their energy takes them off to the side. You reach up, you grasp, and pull back. Ward off, roll back, and when you get back, this hand's going to be palm up, this hand's going to come in, going to roll a little bit so this hand can fold over, and the heel of the hand can come to rest on the wrist. You come back to the front, and then as you shift forward, hand on the outside goes palm out, and then they cross. So roll back, and then press. Roll back, press. The reason we haven't really been doing the footwork is it's basically a bow stance. Ward off, roll back, reverse bow stance, press, forward bow stance, and then it's another reverse and a forward bow stance. So you're not really moving your feet, you're just moving your body, shifting at your knees, ankles, and hips. Press is a penetrating energy, like you're trying to get through a crowd, you just press, press. And the hand goes out and goes down behind. It leads into push. So your hands, the outsides of your hands basically line up with the outsides of your shoulders. You don't want them out here like this, because if you go to push, you're just going to have your arms around them and dancing with them. So you come back. As you do, there's a little bit of a turn. Hands drop down a little bit, and then a push. And this little turn gives you a little more torque and a little more energy. It's a strike into the chest, so you can see my hands are about level with just below the collarbone with the heels coming up, and it's to push somewhat up. So you're using that energy from your back leg to push. And do it from the side. Come back and push. You're not really altering the ankle and your elbows. It's more like your arms are on an axis, just swinging like this. Come back, push. And sometimes it's taught push like that, but you don't have as much power when you push like that. You're using the muscles in your arm when you push like that. If you can, try this sometimes. Stand in front of a wall, get in a bow stance, push with your arms, and what typically happens is you push yourself backwards. You're also more likely to lock your elbow when you do that, and a locked elbow is a broken elbow. If you come into something hard, I had a friend who slipped on the ice, and instead of curling as she fell, tried to break her fall and locked her elbow, and now she has all sorts of metal in her elbow because she basically shattered it. When you push up into the wall like this, you're using the biggest muscles in your body. You're using your legs. So it's a push. And when you push into the wall like that, you basically just push yourself down into the floor. If you're trying to move something, you're going to get a lot more into it by using your legs instead of your arms. So I'll face you the first time. You come down. Your feet are parallel. You come up into ward off, roll back, press, and push. The story my teacher told me and his teacher told him to help remember this, because the movement is called grasp the bird's tail. Sometimes when you do it this way, it's grasp the sparrow's tail. I'll do it in the direction that we're going to do it in. Ward off, pung in Chinese. You give the bird a place to land. Roll back, liu. You grasp the bird's tail, you bring the bird back to get a better look. And there's the bird. Ji, press, ji in Chinese. Bird flies away. come back. You try to catch the bird again. Too late, the bird's gone. So let's do that one more time. On is push. Ward off, give the bird a place to land, reach up, roll back. You've captured the bird, there's the bird, you've spread the wings. Bird's so beautiful, you decide to let the bird go. Shift forward, let the bird go, bird flies away. You come back to admire the bird, decide, bird's so beautiful, I wish it was still here, but too late, the bird's gone. Ward off, roll back, press, push. If you ever study longer forms of Tai Chi and Yang style, especially depending on how you count the number, 105 or 108 or 113 form, pretty much the same form, just different versions of Yang, count them differently. You do that movement a lot. And you never do it on the left side. You only do ward off on the left, put in 24 form and below, which was put together by a committee, really, and for the Chinese government back in the 50s or thereabouts. They do it on both sides, I guess, trying to balance things out. Traditional Tai Chi a lot of times is very right-handed centric. So, and one of the things I like about this is you do everything equally, pretty much on each side except for this, but then you do this at the end. So get yourself nice and balanced. Shift your weight right. Step left. Rotate your arms. They come up. For Chi Shi, open the door. Down. Repulse monkey. Brush knee push. Part the wild horse's mane. First to the left, then to the right. Wave hands like clouds. 1, 2, 1, 2. Left foot 45 degrees. 4. Golden Rooster stands on left leg. Golden Rooster stands on right leg. Kick with the right heel. Kick with the left heel. Feet come down parallel. Right hand sweeps that right foot in. Left hand's already up to hold the ball. Left hand on top. Step up with the right foot into ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Shift your weight back. Turn on that left heel. Let the left hand take in the left foot. Now you're holding the ball with the right hand on top. Step up, shift your weight up. Ward off left. Roll back. Press. Push. Shift your weight back right, so left foot can come around, toes towards the front, right toes towards the right corner. Hands are out to the side, they sweep down, right hand goes underneath the left, right foot comes back about shoulder width. Hands are crossed. They turn, palm down, they separate, they come down, and your left foot comes in. That's the whole form. We'll go over it again next time. But it's pretty handy. There's a couple of other forms we can learn that you do everything equally on each side. And I think that's how we will proceed in the future. To actually learn some forms you can take with you and do. Just kind of shake everything out. And then just loosen your legs up. Come back to center. Just bring your arms up, feet a little further apart. And let's do a few breaths just holding a standing stake. As you do this, you can just pay attention to your posture and your balance, but also the air as it goes in and out of your nose to help you focus. After you're done, you just balance it all out. Inhale up and exhale down. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe, healthy, and well. We'll go over 8 form a little bit more next time to try to really get it down, and probably 8 pieces of brocade one more time, and then we'll try some other stuff. And Annie's still with me. She's fallen asleep. Leo's wandered off. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you.